an artist we're featuring for West Austin Studio Tour. You are an Austin native, correct?
Yes, I am.
So can you tell me about growing up here, and do you think that Austin put you on your creative path?
Definitely. I love Austin. I grew up here, my family's here, and just with the love for the outdoors and the love for the music here, it's definitely influenced my art creativity, and I love people, and people are very friendly here in Austin, and so it definitely impacted how I interpret my world and display it through my art.
What made you decide to pursue art as a career? Was there like a spark, or was it just
I've always had art in my family. My mom is an artist, so I grew up with it, but it really happened when I was in college. I went to Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I had to take an art class. I'd always sort of dabbled in it, but I had to take an art class, and I realized, wow, this is really what I want to pursue and learn more about. And so I ended up majoring in visual arts, minor in business management, and I also played on the volleyball team there, but doing the senior thesis was really what sparked having to do a show. Was I want to carry this through my life and really do this as a career.
Are you drawn to any one genre or period of art, and can you describe your art as fitting into any genre?
I would say I'm most inspired just by contemporary art, with the fact that I love using mixed media and the fact that your options are limitless in terms of just being able to use anything. And so of course I'm influenced from my art history classes, but one of my professors who just said, like, the sky's the limit, you can do whatever you want, was really who influenced my art. So.
And your work is very rich with color and pattern, so can you talk about where that comes from?
Yeah, first of all, I love life, I love people, I'm a very positive person, and so I use bright colors and lots of patterns, and I just love getting a positive reaction from people when they view my work, and I enjoy art and doing it, and so I like to display that with my art as well, and it's just an interpretation of my life is good attitude.
Yeah, it's definitely not a saddening or, it has all that vibrancy.
Right.
What is your technique for work such as your Looking Up series?
Well, the Look Up series, I was inspired by this quote that said, "To understand is to stand under," which is to look up, which is a good way to understand, by Sister Corita. And I just love that attitude of, you look up, you just never know what will happen. And then I'm influenced by my environment, and the way I learn things is through repetition, and that's what nature is made up of, repetition of DNA. And so when I'm creating something, I just sort of go with the flow, how I'm feeling, and just sort of create something I'm proud of and what makes me feel good.
And what are these? Are these?
These are monotypes, and so this is a printmaking process, and it's great. It's a one-time print where you have plexiglass and you roll ink and then onto it and use Q-tips to remove the ink, and so it makes it a unique print each time you make it, since you're not carving into anything.
Where did you learn that?
I learned this in school. One of my professors suggested that he thought that monotype was a good process for me to learn, so that's where I learned it.
What are some of your other processes? Like, how did you, like more along it's printmaking, or it's like the glass? How did you learn to cut the glass, or what?
Well, I love using mirror because it involves the viewer. They can see themselves in the mirror, and the mirror I cut as profiles representing people, so it's people in their environment. And it's fun because I've been able to utilize different resources by contacting a laser cut place, and they were able to cut this mirrored acrylic plastic. And then when I was contacting them, they suggested they weren't able to cut actual glass mirror, and so they suggested Regal Plastics that has all these types of plastics. So I've been able to utilize different resources that are masters of what they do to create my art.
And I love the mirrors and I love the object collage. So where do you think you're going next with your work?
Well, I would really love to get into doing some outdoor art. I've been applying to art in public places, different applications for that, and so I would like to make that transition to make weather durable art, and then also I love as much interaction as you possibly can have with art, and so also make it not only where you look at it, but maybe where the viewer interacts with it and something happens. So.
Cool. Are there any artists or art spaces in Austin that you really enjoy or find a connection with or inspired by?
Well, there's multiple different nooks in Austin. Of course, I love Art for the People Gallery with its eclectic just art, and fine art sort of handcrafted gifts. And then I also love Flatbed Press. It's a beautiful fine art print shop, and it's got Gallery Shoal Creek there. But also during the West Austin and East Austin studio tours, just exploring the different studio spaces. There's a lot of different artists here in Austin, and so also during like South by Southwest, there'll be little pop-up shows in like Republic Square Park, and those are great to see, just something different. So.
Yeah, very organic and just like instant art, and being able to see so much at
Right,
one time.
exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of diversity here. If you could own one piece of art in the world.
That is a good question. I don't know. I mean, I don't know out of the entire world, but if I was going to support one of my fellow friend artists here in Austin that we sort of take the same path and have similar aesthetics, it would be Damian Lester, and he's just somebody I've always looked up to, and we get along really well, and we sort of have a same aesthetic, so I'd love to support him and his art.
All right, well, thank you, Hallie. And this
Thank
was
you.
Again, Hallie Ray Ward for West Austin Studio.